up? Oh, what kind of candy? Hershey's. Yes, Hershey's. I'm holding up a bag. I see some chocolate lovers out there. Yeah, this is a bag of Hershey's chocolate. Now, when I go to the store and I buy a bag of Hershey's chocolate, I have one goal in mind. The purpose is to buy it, eat it, consume it, right? Enjoy it. Absolutely. Now, who can tell me what a bag of this chocolate costs at the store? Wow, we got some pretty articulate people out there with some great ideas. And yes, about $4, okay? Let's say it's about $4. We'll round up, right? Now, what am I holding up? Oh no, what am I holding up? Look close. Godiva chocolates. Godiva. Now, when we go to the Godiva chocolatier, we go for a completely different purpose. Our purpose when we go to the Godiva store is to buy a gift for someone, to gift the experience of Godiva. See, I would argue that most of us in this room would prefer Godiva chocolates over Hershey's chocolates because of the experience that it gives. How much would you guess that box of Godiva chocolates costs? I heard it. $40. Woo! High five to you, girl. $40. Why is it that we, as human beings, will pay 10 times the amount of money for Godiva chocolates over Hershey's? And it's what I just mentioned. It's because you want to provide the experience of Godiva, the true, wonderful experience. This represents a point that I'm going to be talking about today. See, we all have choices that we make each and every day. And those choices take us down various paths. It can take you down a path that leads you down the Hershey's path, or one that leads you down the Godiva path. And it's a matter of choices. It's our choices. And what we choose really does impact our life. And this leads us to the three fundamental truths that I'm going to be talking about in my message today. And those truths are these. Truth number one, what you believe is what you achieve. Truth number two, your reaction really does define your path. And truth number three, you can do anything you put your mind to, but you can't do everything. Let's go back to truth number one. What you believe is what you achieve. You know, if you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. Are you one of those individuals that look at life truly as being positive or negative? Do you look at it as being optimistic or pessimistic? Do you look at it as half full or half empty? Do you think in the way that is that of the inventor of an airplane or similar to that of the inventor of a parachute? So your thoughts do drive your decisions, and they do drive your choices and ultimately your outcomes in your life. What you believe is what you achieve. I want you to do something for me. I want you to look around the room, look all around the room, and spot things with your eyes that are the color blue. Just look around the room, try to remember all those things that are the color blue. Now I want you to close your eyes, and I know it's rather uncomfortable, but please close your eyes just for 10 seconds and try to remember all those things that are the color blue. Try to remember them. Remember every single one that you just saw. Remember all those things that are blue. Open up your eyes. Raise your hand now. And I want your eyes to be right here, okay? Right here. Everybody's eyes right here. Raise your hand if you can tell me 5 things that are the color yellow. Very, very few. I saw 2 hands. 2 hands. We see what we are looking for. Are you looking for those things that are the color blue? or the color yellow, or positive or negative, or those things that bring you greatness or things that you dwell on that are not so great. See, what you focus on becomes your reality. Your thoughts really do define your outcome. You know, early on this summer, it was June, I went to a convention with a lot of exciting people similar to who are in this room today. And one of the individuals, as we were waiting, it was a national speakers convention, one of the individuals that was in line as we were getting ready to check into our hotel, he introduced himself to me and he said, "Hey, I want to ask you something. Have you written a book yet?" And I said, No, I haven't written a book. And he said, "Well, why not?" And I thought to myself, well, that's a good question. I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. We went on to talk, have a great conversation, got to know each other well. By the end of the conference, I went home, and I didn't really think too much more about that concept until, that was June, then in late August, early September, I began to think about it again. And I thought, well, I don't know that I could really do that. I don't know that that's really possible. I don't know the first thing about it. Do you all think similar thoughts sometimes? Where you think, how am I going to go to college? How am I going to stand up in front of that group? How am I going to give that presentation? How am I going to finish that project? We're all faced with daunting tasks at times. And you think to yourself, how can I move through that? How can I move through that thought process? Well, I gave it more and more thought, and I thought, you know what, if he can do it, I can do it, you can do it. And that's exactly what I did. I put together my plan, I picked out an editor, I picked out a organization that can publish it, I picked out a graphic designer, and you know, by December 10th, I was holding my first book. Now, you can do anything you put your mind to. See, what you believe is what you achieve. What you believe is what you achieve. Which leads us to fundamental truth number 2. How you react defines your path. How you react defines your path. You know, we are faced with tough circumstances each and every day. And throughout our lives, they can be tougher and even more difficult. Would you agree? Yeah. And it doesn't really matter what stage of your life you're in, because you're all faced with tough decisions. Each and every one of us are. But it's not the tough circumstances that you're in that will define you. Then what is? It is your reaction to those tough circumstances. Your reaction that will lead you down the path of either a positive outcome or potentially the opposite.